My guest today from MLW is Mance Warner. Mance, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank y'all for having me on here, man.
It's our pleasure. We always enjoy up-and-coming stars on the Grueling Truth. So, who is Old Mancer?
Oh, man, you got me on here and you hit me with the hard questions already, huh? No, brother. Plain and simple, I get paid to travel around and fight motherfuckers, man. Old Mancer, baby. I give you a whole bunch of nicknames, but I'm sure you got them somewhere on there.
Exactly. Southern Psycho. We got a bunch of them for you. So, what sports did you play growing up in Bucksnort, Tennessee?
I didn't play no damn sports, man. I just got in fights all the time. That's why I love pro wrestling. You get out here and get paid money to beat people up, and you can't get arrested for it, man.
So, at what age did you fall in love with professional wrestling?
Oh, God, man. I can remember watching pro wrestling for forever, man. It kind of, a lot of people ask me about, what I grew up watching or what I enjoy. For me, it's plain and simple, man. Old school wrestling. Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Dory Funk. So, from the get-go, I was hooked on it.
Exactly, all the classics, and that's one of the neat things about your in-ring style. You do feel like a Funk. You do feel like an Austin. You do have that similar style to those type of guys.
That's a huge compliment, brother, man. I hear that type of stuff a lot, and it makes me think at the end of the day I'm doing something right, to be compared to guys like that. So thank you.
Welcome, my pleasure. I was going to say that is always a good thing to be compared with the greats of all time, and of course, throwing those dusty elbows doesn't hurt either.
Oh yeah, I gotta get some of them eye pokes in there too, just to let people know.
So, what was your local wrestling promotion when you were growing up? Did you ever go watch them and that kind of thing?
For me, I was always a big WCW, NWA. I watched everything though, so whenever something was around, I'd go see it. But I guess for me, independent wrestling wise, there were always, the CZWs and the stuff like that you would watch. So it's pretty cool when you end up, having their gold at some point. But I guess for me, it was more old school stuff.
Excellent. So tell us what got you to go to Indiana to team up with Billy Rock.
Colt Cabana. I had a discussion with Colt Cabana, and I was looking to see, because I think if you want to become a pro wrestler, the main advice I always give people, because people will come up and ask me things and ask me about what should I do here or there, and I always go, I've only been doing this a couple of years, man. But I always tell people, if they want to become a pro wrestler, you got to find a school that's going to teach you the basics. If you ain't going to do that, you ain't going to find a place like that, you're just going to waste your money.
Exactly.
So I talked to Colt Cabana. He told me about Billy Rock and School of Rock out there in Lafayette, Indiana. It's not around anymore. Billy shut down the school out there, but I went out there, started driving there. They do classes every weekend and get out there and just get into it, man.
The way I understand it, you weren't his only star pupil. That he had some other good talent there. Who were they?
Heidi Lovelace. And then she turned into Ruby Riott, so she's on TV all the time. So she was out there. Trip Cassidy was out there. He's one of the guys, when I first started going to the school out there, I'd always jump in the car with Trip Cassidy. He runs a Bizarro Lucha out there in Indianapolis. So I jumped in a car with him. We'd go to New Jersey. We'd go all over the place, Because that's the thing, too. I always tell people, if you want to make it in pro wrestling, you literally have to get in cars and get your ass to wherever the shows are, because people ain't going to learn who you are unless you out there showing your face.
So how hard was your training? Because obviously training to be a professional wrestler isn't easy.
Oh, man, it was it's hard to explain the way training goes, because schools are always kind of different. Some people go to training school 5 days a week. We were going on the weekend, so we would do, I think it was about 4 hours straight. Rain, shine, it didn't matter. It'd be wintertime and we'd be out there bumping around in the ring. There were some holes in the ceiling, so you get, ice and cold as hell out there. But, I mean, that shows you want it, in my opinion. So, you get in there, you're doing your cardio, you're doing your blow-up drills, you're doing anything and everything, learning the basics. Technical wrestling, Billy Rock, if y'all don't know who Billy Rock is, look him up on IWTV, Independent Wrestling TV. They got a lot of, they got him, the Quackenbush from Bizarro Lucha. They got old school IWA Mid-South. He's on there. So, he kind of taught us everything. And you get out there, just bust your ass, man. It's the only way I can explain it.
And the way I understand it, he is a pupil of Dory Funk Jr.
Yes.
So what did he take from Dory and pass on to you?
I remember Billy being excited that I was one of the few guys that I loved old school wrestling. You go to a wrestling school, and there's going to be a lot of people in there that are kind of just in there because they like Edge, and they heard there's a wrestling school, or they like Batista. So you got people in there who don't know anything about the history of wrestling, and Billy would give us matches every week to go and watch. And he'd announce them, he'd send it to us, and then I'd be pumped up, man. It'd be like Steve Corino against Tajiri, or I got them all saved, or it'd be Dory Funk against somebody, or Terry Funk against somebody, just to study the little things out there. So, for me, anything I can learn, I would sit there and just want to hear. Teach me, teach me, teach me. So that's kind of my takeaway was just whatever the fuck anyone could tell me, I'd listen to.
Exactly. I mean, you got to be a student of the game. I mean, if you want to learn the sport of professional wrestling, you got to watch the history and learn from the best. You got the right idea with that. So
yes, sir.
You've been sought out after by many wrestling promotions. Which are some of your favorite that you've worked for so far?
I'd have to say right now, I'm at MLW. I got, I'm the world champ out there at AAW in Chicago, AIW in Cleveland, Game Changer Wrestling, GCW. I mean, I could go through a whole list of companies, but off the top of my head, Bizarro Lucha down in Indianapolis, it's in places to where the talent that's at all these places. You look at MLW and you can name all the people that are out there. If I'm in a match with any of them boys, I always call things fights. I don't do matches. Whoever it is in that ring with me, we gonna steal the show, and that's my goal at any show I go to. Is we gonna bring it, and that crowd's gonna walk away and remember, damn, that old Mancer match, they beat the fuck out of each other out there. So.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Some promotions have wrestlers. Some promotions have superstars. Yeah, MLW has fighters. Is that one of the reasons why MLW is the best in the world today?
For me, I sit there and like I said, you look at the talent. I always put over the TV show, You hear people complain all the time. Every week. You can get on Twitter and you can see people complaining. They don't like something. They don't want to watch something no more. They swear it off. I ain't going to watch this no more. Next week, you're watching the same stuff every single week.
Exactly.
I always tell people, watch whatever the hell you want to watch. But if you watch an MLW show, it's an hour long. Sometimes it's a little bit less than an hour. But you will sit there and you ain't going to complain about nothing. Everything you see on there, from the promos backstage to the fights in the ring, you're going to get through it quick. It's going to breeze by, and you'll sit there. I've had people hit me up and say, man, I just binge-watched 8 hours of MLW on there on YouTube. You can get right on YouTube, So I always kind of say, sit down, watch the show, and you ain't going to bitch about nothing because you're going to enjoy pretty much everything on there.
So what's your favorite type of match to be involved in?
Man, I love old school fights. I love going out there and just beating the hell out of each other. I couldn't tell you one specific, like a barbed wire match or a dog collar match or anything like that. I just love being in that ring and fighting people.
So that's kind of how you would describe your style as a fighter?
Old school brawler out there just fighting, man. I'm fighting to get paid. So, when I kind of look at pro wrestling as a buffet. And I've explained this before to people, and sometimes they go, what the hell are you talking about? For somebody to say that, they're a pro wrestler, in my opinion, you got to do a little bit of everything. You got to be able to talk. You got to be able to do some technical wrestling. You got to be able to fight. If you got to, like I dabble in death matches. I go out there and fight motherfuckers left and right. I can do technical with you. You ain't going to see Mancer doing too much lucha libre, but if I got to, I'll figure something out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But what at the end of the day, go out there and just do what you got to do and whoop some ass and then hit the pay window.
So, what are your thoughts on the new Anderson and Gallows podcast? Are you going to be looking forward to hopping on there?
Oh, I used to listen to that back in the day, so when I saw that was back, I popped on that. It's pretty cool shit out there, you know. I've seen some people already tweeting out about getting old Mance on there, or maybe old Sex Ferguson comes back and him and old Mance have a shoot interview or something like that. We'll see what happens out there.
That does sound good. I was going to say, now speaking about your talking, you're famous for your trash talk. So do you feel that you're able to back that up properly?
Oh, every time. I learned something a long, long time ago. If you're going to be outside running your mouth, talking shit, somebody going to check you. So if you can't back it up, people going to find out real quick. And then you ain't going to be able to talk no more shit. So ever since I was a little kid, man, I'd run my mouth and I'd back it up. So to this day, when I step out there, you know, Hammerstone, I heard him talking shit on MLW. At some point, I'm going to get him, I'm going to tear him up. And, you know, that is what it is, because he stepped out here talking shit, and then he going to have to back it up. We're going to see if he can back it up.
So why are you upset with Hammerstone?
Well, it goes back a little bit. So basically, we got Old Mancer is Old Mancer. You got MJF. MJF is a rich boy. He's always got his boys with him. You know, him, Hammerstone, Holiday. They got Gino with him now. You can sit down there and watch, and you can see the Old Mancer sit MJF back, and he gone.
Yep.
So Hammerstone's got the gold. I want the gold. When he starts talking shit and they mess with my family, I'm going to have to whoop his ass. So that's kind of where we stand right now. It's kind of a standstill. But, you know, at some point we're going to have to go nose to nose and see what happens.
Yeah, we had, a while back, we had MJF's, his old girl on, back in the day, about a year ago, on the show. And she was quite interesting. She was a different...
Oh, I'm sure she didn't have nothing to say.
So tell us about that empty arena match with MJF. The loser leaves town. What brought that on? And I mean, what were your thoughts going into the match?
Oh man, it's a fight, but that type of fight's a little bit different because at the end of the day, Old Mancer is with the people. That's Old Mancer's people. So now I'm in a fight where if I lose, I'm gone, and if I beat MJF, he's gone. But I got nobody in the crowd. And first, you got to kind of explain what the crowd means to somebody. For me, when if someone's whooping my ass and I can hear them screaming, here we go, baby, I'm going to fire up for them. But if there's nobody out there, it's literally, you're having a fist fight and there's nobody there, so it kind of makes it a whole other thing. I mean, you could go on YouTube and watch that, and at one point, MJF puts a cigarette out on my forehead out there because he's a son of a bitch, he's a piece of trash. But, you know, at the end of the day, I beat him 1, 2, 3, and that's all road, man. He out of there.
Definitely. And with a nice traditional lariat. I was going to say,
yes.
Phenomenal. I was going to say, I mean, how many people over the years, I mean, that's how you can tell the difference between a true Southern wrestler and a Northern wrestler, because they would call it a clothesline, and it would be nowhere near as powerful. And you all having the lariat is it's phenomenal.
I try to take their heads off, man.
Exactly. Speaking of people who like to take people's heads off, I saw a picture on the MLW site today with Mike Tyson. What are your thoughts about Mike?
Oh, man, I saw that too. You know, I've heard some things. You never know, about anything, but I'd welcome old Mike Tyson coming into MLW. I think that'd be a pretty cool thing right there. You know, maybe old Mike Tyson and old Mancer sit down and have a discussion. You know, I'm sure people pay money just to see us, give us a camera and see what we do all day. You know, that's a damn reality TV show right there.
Exactly. Yeah, I was wondering, are you more inclined to drink a beer with him, or are you more inclined to get in the ring with him?
Well, I'll drink a beer with anybody. But they're also, you know, you never know. If we're out there partying and then we get into an argument, who knows what's going to happen? It's Mike Tyson. It's old Mancer. You don't know what the hell's going to go down.
Exactly.
Me and him may get in a fight. Me and him may tear a whole town up. We may get arrested. We may beat up all the cops. We may, find the mayor, and then we become co-mayors, and we run that town for the next 10 years. I don't know.
So a lot of things could happen. So where can we find MLW? On the internet? Where can we find it on the TV? Where can we, where's the best place to watch MLW?
Well, it's on Being in Sports every week. You can get on YouTube, watch it on there. Now, YouTube, they got every single episode of all time.
Oh, wow.
So you could go on there, from, not getting that in a second, not every single episode, but from when it went on to being sports. You can go from the beginning to right now, kind of watch everything on there. Every episode's, got something for you. And then, I've heard some things that we going back old school some point, and MLW had a run before they had Dusty Rhodes, Terry Funk, Barry Windham, all kinds of people out there. So I've heard that some of that's going to be, they're working on that right now, and they're going to start airing some of them episodes coming up.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I mean, shoot, some of the all-time legends of the South. Speaking of that, I was going to say, wouldn't the company up in the North, wouldn't they want to charge you $9.99 in a month for all the great videos that you can get, but you're able to get them on YouTube for free with MLW, it sounds like.
Yeah, on MLW on YouTube, you can get it for free $9.99. That's free $9.99. You go on there as long as you got YouTube and you can watch all that shit.
That sounds good. So when are we going to get an event in Ohio, Kentucky, or Indiana? Because obviously with your background in Indiana, going back home up to there sounds good.
Yeah, down there in Indiana, Ohio, anywhere around there. I mean, Old Mancher's always making a town, so I got family pretty much everywhere. I have to make me a phone call to Old Court out there and then see what he can say. I have to maybe strong arm him and tell him we got to get some MLW shows around there, because I know the people going to want to see it. Every show, every live event we've had, we've been selling them sons of bitches out. So,
speaking of events, when is your next big event?
Brother, if I knew, I would tell you. With everything right now, it's just kind of just sitting back, seeing what's going to happen.
Exactly. I mean, they don't have anything, planned, empty studio events or anything like that. Pay-per-views.
You have to hit up Court Bauer out there and then ask him, because I'm not sure.
Sounds good.
I take phone calls and then I figure out what's going down. Someone call me up and say, "Mancer, we need you," and then I figure out where to go.
You just hop in your truck and are ready to go and ready to fight, it sounds like.
Jump on an airplane and then cover my face up with a whole bunch of shit and see what happens.
So before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web should they find out more about the old Mancer?
Well, you can put in Mance Warner on Twitter. I'm on there the most. You could go to Facebook on there. You can go to Instagram and Twitter. Be probably the top two right there. Put in Mance Warner. You'll see me on there. ProWrestlingTees.com. I got T-shirts on there. MLW, same thing. They got some Mancer T-shirts on there, some koozies on there for them beers. You go to doublehell.com, and Old Mancer's got some shirts on there too. So, you can kind of get all the merch there. You could get a hold of Old Mancer on all the social media deals.
Sounds great. We enjoyed having you on the show.
Hey, thank you, brother.
My pleasure.